Hey, you know the vibes. Today I'm doing the Sun in Capricorn. Capricorn is the 10th sign of the zodiac. It's an Earth sign, and it's cardinal. I just want to say, look at this day. It's a nice day. It's out here. But Capricorn is the 10th sign of the zodiac. It's cardinal Earth. I hope everybody out here having a good day. But yeah, it's cardinal Earth, and is the ruling planet of it is Saturn, and Saturn is like Saturn actually rules the realm that we in, because it's all the Earth signs really like have an advantage here, basically because they think practically and they think more pragmatic, and that manifests things here, manifest visuals. But Saturn, it's a deeper meaning to Saturn. I'm gonna do a video about it, but for the most part, Capricorns are they like structure, and they come off as like disciplinary and authoritative because they just like things done in a practical step-by-step way. They are emotional. I personally think that that the phrase poker face was designed specifically describing Capricorns, because like they're emotional, they're because the opposite sign of Capricorn is Cancer. So when you're dealing with the signs, something that you got to take into account is the fact that not only do the signs pull from the opposite polarity, they also pull from the neighbor signs as well. So the neighbor sign for Capricorn is Aquarius. But I'm gonna get into that later. But the whole Capricorns, they're very traditional, they're very structured, and they can come off as boring, but it's not really them being boring. It's like they want to get all the boring stuff out the way so they can get to the fun parts of the situations. Like Capricorns are like Benjamin Button, like they age backwards. Like like the whole all work and no play situation. Like the Capricorns and the Earth signs have this in common too, but Capricorns know how to have more fun than the Virgo, and then they know how to like be more out there than a Taurus. Like a Virgo's, they like to have fun, but they don't like to risk. They don't like to put a lot of stuff on the line to have fun. Like the Capricorn is the risk takers of the Earth signs. So it's not really saying much because it's still practical, but out of the three Earth signs, Capricorns take the most risk. So, because a Taurus will kind of be too about the foundation or too about the stability to risk it. And sometimes when you risk things, you win and you lose. A Virgo would be too analytical to risk it, and a Capricorn has a spiritual side to them as well. So they risk it. They don't mind. It's still Cardinal. So Cardinal is the energy like Cardinal doesn't mind going without for a little bit to get something more. Like, so it'd be times where like they might look like they down, but they so having that Cardinal energy and the Cardinal mindset, they'd be in a situation where they know how to get up, and they know how to get up fast, and they know how to get up into a better situation than they just left. Had to wipe the screen off. Also too, they have Capricorns also have like that parental energy to them. So like even the Capricorn in the group or the Capricorn, they know how to they'll give you advice without you asking for their advice. Let me see. So Saturn rules restrictions. Because Saturn is the planet with the rings around it. So it's like almost kind of like a fence or almost kind of like a barrier. So it has like a Capricorn to like kind of like limit how they deal with you based off of how you act, or they limit how they deal with themselves, or they limit their emotional expressions and stuff like that, and put boundaries up because of, like, they know how, like I said, they pull from Cancer, so they know how emotionally chaotic they can get, and they can cross that boundary line. So they try to put the boundary line up. But yeah, I'm gonna say it's kind of just like they just have a almost kind of like a fence, like a, because it's the goat, so like they come off as like sophisticated and they work hard and stuff like that, but it's like to present a front, they might actually do this, but it's like they present a front of the front of sophistication, and that's what they have in common with Leo. What Capricorns have in common with Leo is like they both enjoy the presentation. Leos don't like to be embarrassed, and Capricorns like to look like they have everything under control. So that's actually the better word for it, is control. Capricorns like to control the situation. They like to control themselves, and even if they don't actually know what's going on, they like to look like they know what's going on. They might go back and do the research later and actually know what's going on, but for the most part, they like to look like they in a position of authority, in a position of power, because Capricorn also, Capricorn, the 10th house rules Capricorn too, and Capricorn is about status. So in order to have status, sometimes like you gotta go along with what is going on, even if you might not agree with it, and you might not enjoy it, and you might have your own views and things like that. That's why the Capricorn energy, they can be like, I don't want to say like followers, because it's not like a following energy. It's more of like, I know how to exalt the status quo. That's what Capricorns know how to do. Like, say for instance, like popular. I know, like, say for instance something is trending, right? A Capricorn might not start the trend, but a Capricorn might know how to get with the trend and become the best representation of the trend, or become an authority on what's trending, or become an authority on, because even when people say people say no cap, like when people say no, like people literally, like that's literally a phrase. I don't know if motherfuckers still saying it now, but that's literally a phrase. Like people would say like no cap, or like you boosting, and 9 times out of 10, or like clout, those are all Capricorn things. Like they want to be seen for something. They want to be known for something. So you come in a situation where you tell a story, or you do this, or you do that, and that's what they have in common with Leos. Like they like to get himself that boost to be seen as having more status than other people. But like the killing part is like if they use that energy and do it in like a legit way, whereas like they do it all, put in that same effort or work that they do for that boost, they'll end up being like that anyway. So if they become more original, they'll end up being what they consider that, like that status that they crave so much. You'll end up getting it anyway by just being yourself. And that's something that Capricorn can learn from his neighbor, is Aquarius. Like a Capricorn see something, know how to structure it, know how to put it together, know how to make other people like all type of shit. But when it come to like them, what they actually have their own personal original ideas and stuff like that, they won't go on their own ideas because they feel like it's not trending, or it's not, people not gonna like it, or people not gonna do this, or people not gonna like it or do that. So having that's what you can learn from Aquarius, because Aquarius and Capricorn still represents structure and stability. Like it's still the same thing, but an Aquarius would rather try to structure their own way of seeing it versus how everybody else see it. An Aquarius is, because Aquarius is still introducing that rebel, that new energy. So that's something they can learn from Aquarius. Something they can learn from Taurus is to have a more solid foundation before they risk it all. Before they go to the risk, have a more solid foundation. Like, because when you got to think, it's the mountain goat, and the Capricorns represent the mountain. So if you climb a mountain and then you fall off the mountain and you don't have a pad to land on, instead of you falling to the middle of the mountain or falling like halfway down or 3/4 of the way down, you don't have to necessarily smack the bottom that hard. Even though, yeah, you're gonna get up, but if you have a more solid foundation, then you might not even have to fall that far. Or then if you fall that far, it's gonna be a softer blow. And then something that you can learn from Virgo is sometimes you don't need the status all the time. Like, even once you get to the top of the mountain, like, sometimes you never needed the top of the mountain. Sometimes you just needed to make and produce for the sake of, because Virgos kind of, they don't like dealing with status all the time, just because sometimes Virgos want to rest, and sometimes Virgos want to just do the work, to know how to do the work and know how it works, and then just analyze it, and to just do it when it's necessary. Once you start doing stuff all the time for the status and for that feeling of you being on top or being popular, or people know that you do in it for the power, then they can take advantage of you, knowing that they see your hunger for authority. So that's how you can get used, by showing that you want to be popular, that you want to be looked at in a certain light. People know how to maneuver you into position to where you get the light, but at the end of the day, behind the scenes, you getting your strings pulled. So that's something that you can learn from Virgos, that just because you want to do something, or you know what I'm saying, whatever, like, you end up being a prisoner to your own wants and your own being. You end up being a prisoner wanting to be looked at in a certain way. And that's something that, like I said, that's something that both Capricorn and Leos can share. That's an in conjunction. I'm gonna do a in conjunction series, but yeah, that's just something that they both share. Like, a Leo could get in a situation. I think if you go back to the Leo video too, a Leo can get in a situation where they doing something, and people expect them to do it. So then when people realize your patterns and how you move and how you operate, then people can use that against you for the good or for the bad, because if they know how to pull your strings, they know what you like, they know what you're in it for. So once they know what you're in it for, you liable to be taken advantage of, for the good or for the bad, honestly. But yeah, like I said, even Capricorn, the Cardinal, they do got that spiritual side to them. They have that spiritual intuition. They have that. I think that might be the reason why they want status. Like, these is all coming to me in right now, but I think that might be the reason why they want the status so bad. Like, it's because when you have a very strong connection to the spiritual side of things and the intuition side of things, and it being an earth sign, Capricorn probably likes to channel its own energy into its status. It's because even Capricorn is exalted in the sign, not Capricorn, but Saturn. Saturn is exalted in the sign of Libra. So, and Libra is the almighty hippie. So it's kind of like once you get the status and stuff like that, once you get the recognition and all the worldly possessions, and I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with any of it, but once you achieve it and attain it, it's like they kind of realize like, oh, okay, it didn't really give me the effect that I thought it once had. Or once you done maxed out everything there was to max out, or once you done did everything or experienced everything you wanted to experience, it's not really nothing left for you to really do. So that's when your spiritual side kicks in, because it's the last earth sign. So in a way, it's like Capricorn is towing the line between this material plane and the spiritual plane. And that's why I think it, like, once it maxes out the earth, it can focus on the material. It can focus on the spiritual plane. And that's when Capricorns can become gurus almost. Capricorns can become like very wise and very spiritual and very in tune. If they remember the status is not everything. But that was my Sun and Capricorn video. Y'all know the vibes. Have a good day. Go outside.